Here is the 2026 Jeep Wrangler Moab 392. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Jason and I do reviews on vehicles here in Canada. So reviews just like this. If you love car reviews, be sure to like this video and also subscribe to the channel. And also thank you to Milton Chrysler for allowing me to review this beautiful 392. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the different models that you can get with the Jeep Wranglers, the safety features that you do get with this Moab 392, the engine specs, the exterior, the interior, the infotainment system, and of course the pricing on this. Okay, so for the different models that you can get with the Jeep Wranglers, here are all of them. You can either get like a 2-door or a 4-door, and these are all the different models that you can get. Now, for some reason on the Canadian website, you don't get the option to pick out the Moab 392 for some reason, and I'm assuming because there's just a limited amount of them. Now, in terms of the safety features that you do get with the Moab 392, here is a list. So you do get some safety features with this. And in terms of what powers this beast, this does have the 6.4 liter V8 engine, making 470 horsepower and 470 pound-foot of torque. Now, in terms of towing, you can tow about 3,500 pounds when equipped properly. Also, I'm going to quickly throw up the window sticker on this because it does have a few features that are added to this. All right, well, let's start off in the front of this 392. This thing looks insane in person, and definitely coming down the road, it's very, very aggressive looking. Now, from the front, it's like your traditional Jeep, right? But there are a ton of different things compared to a regular Jeep, and this is actually cheaper than the previous 392. Can you believe that? Now, on the bumper here, you do have a full metal bumper, as you can hear right there. So on here, you will find the Warn winch. And with the Warn winch, this does have an 8,000 pound capacity. And also on the bumper here, you do have these hooks on both of the sides. There's also the LED fog lights on both of the sides. And then you just get into the grille area. Now, I really like what they've done with this. You kind of have like this granite material that's all across the slots here. And your classic Jeep grille, obviously. And you do have a front-facing camera here with a washer. And then are the classic lights. These are LED lights and definitely look very, very sharp with this. You've even got the lights on the fenders there. Now, I just want to quickly touch on the hood here. If you're not familiar with Jeep Wranglers, well, the way you open the hood is from this latch here and this one over here. Pretty simple. And then you also have this vent here that goes inside, and let me show you what it looks like from the inside. Now, once you do lift up the hood, here's what it looks like. So you do have what's called a Jeep Hydro Guide. So you have air that goes everywhere in this, and that's what that looks like. And on the side here, you've got the 392 badging, which is going to be on both of the sides. And you do have these two things up here, which are your tie downs, or if you do want to pop down your windshield, if you want to go crazy off-roading. But yeah, you have that. Also on the side here, you do have the Moab decaling indicating what you have, but obviously when this thing starts up, you definitely know. Now, if you decide to go through water, this can handle up to 34 inches of water. And also you do get a 1.5 inch factory lift, which is awesome, plus the off-road suspension. All right, coming to the side here, you really can't tell any difference compared to the normal Jeep other than the tires. Now, something nice that this has is the one-touch sky roof. This whole thing opens up, and I'm going to show you that inside. It looks very, very cool. Now, your door handles are the black plastic, obviously, and then same thing for your side mirrors. On the side here, you've got the trail rated 4x4 badging, the Jeep Wrangler badging here, and then this vent style here. And as for the fenders, these are also the black plastic, but you also have these extensions here, which obviously is for these massive, massive tires on this. And this thing just looks super, super aggressive and even wide by having these on here. On the side at the bottom, you do have your rock protectors or your rock rail. And as for the tires, these are your 35-inch massive tires. And you've got these nice looking 17-inch beadlock capable wheels. I really like the designing on this, the aluminums, the blacks, everything just looks very nice and very fitting with this vehicle, because if I do take a step back, you can see definitely suits this. All right, coming to the rear, it's your usual Jeep look back here. And as for the rear bumper, this is also going to be metal. You've got a hook right there, the rear safety sensors, and the reflectors on both of the sides there. Also down here is your hitch with all of your towing outlets, and then you have your quad exhaust outlets. And I'm going to show you in a second what this thing sounds like. And then as for the spare tire, you've got the same spare tire with a rear backup camera there. and these nice looking LED rear lights. Now to open up the back here, it's very simple. All you got to do is just pop this up just like that, and the whole door just opens up. So you can either just use this, or you can pop up the glass and have this whole section here And inside you can see you have a ton of room to store a ton of different things. And back here you do have your 12-volt outlet and an Alpine subwoofer back here. Now if I go ahead and lift up this area, the carpet area, you do have some space down here that you can utilize if you do want to. And then to close this, you just close the glass first and then the door. But before I close the door, you also have this nice decal here that says Moab 392. You've got all the dimensions, horsepower, all of that good stuff is here, which is pretty neat. And since this is a massive tire, you also need reinforcements. So you have this back here to hold the tire. And now let me start this up so you know what this sounds like. Now let's head inside and take a look inside what you get with this Moab. It's the traditional Jeep look in here, all blacked out. You do have the red contrast stitching, some netting down here if you do want to use it as storage. Now as for the seats, you do have the soft touch everywhere along with the red contrast stitching, which is nice and definitely pops out. Now if I go ahead and pull down the centerpiece here, this whole thing pops down, plus you have your rear cup holders in here. And even up here, you have speakers, which is pretty unique. And now I'm gonna jump inside and show you the legroom and the headroom. All right, hopping inside, legroom wise, I am perfectly fine and the seat can be adjusted, so I'll have even more legroom. Now in terms of the headroom, this is a Jeep. Come on, guys. Like, look at the headroom I have. I'm wearing a hat. I'm 5'11" for reference, and I'm super comfortable back here. Now, behind the driver and the passenger side, you do have soft touch up here, but then the black plastic all here. Plus, you have more of the netting space, and that's going to be on both of the sides. Now, over on the rear console area, you have some venting here. Your rear window controls, you have USB ports down there and a 115-volt outlet, plus some space there and here. All right, let's check out the front on this and see if anything is different. The only thing I can really see is you have a much bigger netting area at the bottom, and that's pretty much it. Now let's go ahead and check out the front seats here. These are identical to the rear. You do have the red contrast stitching obviously, and the front seats do come heated. And then coming to the side here, you do have power adjustments on this. Yes, power adjustments, it's not manual. And then coming down here, just your foot pedals, and then moving up here, you do have this nice Easter egg, and then here are your exterior lighting controls along with the cluster dimmers. And then if you look on the dash here, you have this nice looking trimming with the red striping here, and this is going to go across the whole dashboard. It looks very nice. As for the steering wheel, this is manual adjustable. All right, now when you go ahead and start up the Jeep here, you do have the nice 392 animation there, which is pretty neat. Now as for the dashboard, very tiny, but you do have a speaker here. You have some space here, another speaker on the other side. And then you get into your cluster area. So you do have this middle screen that you can view a ton of different information. And then you have your RPMs and your speed section. So in the middle section, if you want to view different things, it's all done through here. So if I just press down and I just keep going, you can see all sorts of different information. And some things, like some of the menus will have more things within it if you just press left or right. So just know that, and yeah, a ton of information here. As for the steering wheel, you do have the soft touch material with the red contrast stitching and like kind of like this perforated side sections, and then the blacked out trimming all along the sides. You got the Jeep in the center here, you got your cluster controls here, phone controls top and bottom, and then your Bluetooth there. On the other side, you have your cruise control and follow distance. And since this is a 392, you do have paddle shifters back here. And if you look on the paddle shifters, you also have media controls on both of the sides. And then over on the rear, you have your indicators and high beams. And then over here, you have your front and rear wiper controls. Now over on the center armrest here, soft touch here, red contrast stitching. And opening up this section, the first section, you have some space that you can definitely utilize. And then if you go ahead and open up the main section, you have a bit of a deeper storage space with a USB port there. Now on the center console here, you have your handbrake, cup holders here, your handy dandy shifter, and then all of your off-roading stuff here. So your different gears, so your 4 high, 4 low, part-time, neutral, all that good stuff. You even got the front and rear lockers here, so you can do the front and rear or just the rear. You got off-road plus, sway bar, and then 4 different auxiliary buttons. Here is a 12-volt outlet. All of your window controls will be located here, and then your media section for your USB ports and aux port. And then up here, you have a bunch more things. So you have your volume on off for the touchscreen, your climate control here, and then this is for the touchscreen as well. So here you have your heating and cooling temperature controls, including the heated steering wheel and the heated front seat. And here you could turn on and off the performance exhaust. I love having it on because obviously it sounds amazing. You have your traction control, hazards, parking sensors to turn them on or off, and then your off-road cruise control, and then the screen off for the touchscreen. Speaking of touchscreen, look at how nice this touchscreen looks. And this is a 12.3-inch touchscreen. So on here, you can view all sorts of different information. So if I just go to the homepage for a second, you kind of have like this split screen going on. So you can view something here and here, but if I swipe over, you can add more widgets or just edit the homepage however you want. Very nicely done. So under the media section, you have your AM, FM, Sirius XM, all that good stuff, but also wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And then if you go under the comfort section, here are your heating and cooling temperature controls, or you can do them just through here. So I rather do it through here, so much easier. And then next is your navigation section. So this is what that looks like here. Next is the phone section once you do have your phone paired. Under vehicle, here you'll find quite a few things. So under controls, you have your mirror dimmer, forward facing camera. So that's what that looks like right there. And I can also clean the camera and the rear glass just by pressing that. And then here is what the rear camera looks like. And I like how it kind of has like this Jeep image right there. So let's exit out of this and then go under the settings. This is typical on any vehicle. There's just a bunch of different menus that you can customize to your liking. But if I go under the dashboard, you have off-road pages here. So on here, you're gonna view all sorts of important information when you do go off-roading or if you go off-roading. So dynamics, gauges, pitch and roll, and then the front camera again. And then now, lastly, under apps, there's a ton of different ones that you can pick from, or if you wanna see all of them, you can just go through all of this. Plus, this has Alexa built in. Now up top, just your handy dandy rear view mirror. And then if you move further up here, you have your assist, SOS, and then here is how you open up the sky roof on this. Very, very easy. All right, so let me show you what the One Touch looks like. It's very, very easy to use. You just have to press this. So it literally just opens up the whole roof all the way to the back. How insane is that? Imagine going on like a nice summer drive and your whole roof is open. You don't have to manually take off piece by piece. It's just one touch and it's all the way to the rear, as you can see, just like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this because it is freezing. And here is the key fob for this Jeep 392. You just got your typical Jeep key where it says Jeep on the back, and then you have your manual key as well. Also, if you look closely on the front windshield here, all the way in the corner, you kind of have like this Jeep, so a nice little Easter egg again. All right, let's come around to the passenger side and let me show you what this looks like. So here's what that dashboard looks like. Very, very nice, as you can see with the designing, the red contrast stitching. You've got the grab handle here if you are going insane and your passenger is scared, and then you really just have your typical glove compartment space. And here is the window sticker for this Moab 392, and the pricing you see is in Canadian dollars. Well, that does it for this crazy 2026 Jeep Wrangler Moab 392. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of this?